Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Desperate Measures. Before we get going any further, we need to sort out a couple of things about our bard friend here, namely your spells, because we haven't actually worked those out yet. Let's
my
figure
overlay's still
out.
broken too. On my
Your overlay's
stats.
broken? Oh, I didn't change your stats? What?
No, I'm still.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
I thought you were just holding it till you found us.
No, I think I changed his stats and then forgot to look at yours and change them. I'm terribly sorry. Let us fix this.
I can read them off to you real quick if you need it.
I just need to open up my overlays. Change from here. Here. Alright, Chive. Strength.
8, 18,
Dex. 18. Con.
13, 15.
Give me a
8.
moment. Hold on. I gotta change areas. Wiz is 8. Charisma is
17.
Ooh! Perception.
11.
And you're level 3, 28 HP, 13 AC.
4, and then I am 16 AC.
16 AC. And HP is
10.
10. Wow. Love it.
I think this is the best I've ever built a character, to be honest with you. With no armor and 16 AC, I don't know how else you'd really get there.
Perfect. All right, so spells. You wanted to learn, you had a set list of spells that you wanted to learn, right? The ones that were most important to you?
I had like a list of ones I wanted to get, just kind of when we were talking about it. I didn't know what your idea with spells were. I picked ones I thought were kind of bardish and weren't super wizardly at first, ones you could easily
Except
pick
for the
up.
Find Familiar.
Except for the Find Familiar, yeah. But that's, there's more to that. You didn't want to talk about it afterwards. So I wanted like a bird or like a cat or something we could play around with, but could take care of itself.
Okay. So let's save Find Familiar for a little bit later. Let's go through the spells that you wanted to learn. Which ones did you want?
Let me pull up my Excel sheet. I wanted, let's see. I wanted Magic Missile, which is one that was kind of wizardly, but it's a good spell all around. I just don't see why you would ever not learn that one.
Right, the player's handbook says bards tend to learn the less combat spells, the spells that are more used for their theatrics.
I think this is the only combat spell I picked, other than unless you counted Color's Play.
That's correct. That's correct. Doesn't have to.
Other than that, I didn't pick any more combat spells. That's my only combat I picked.
Okay. Well, give me a chance to learn spell. You want to roll low? What is your chance to learn?
65.
65. So give me a D100 and roll a 65 or lower, Chives.
Beautiful.
Nice.
All right. Mark it somewhere, and I will create a list of spells for you later. It requires some database editing, so I won't do it quite right now.
I've got it in Excel. I had Affect Normal Fires was one of them.
Roll it.
And let me check how many I can learn to while I'm here. And I have 11 per level. Whoops. There's no D in there.
You also want to roll a D100.
I do want to roll a D100. That's all bad. 60? Whew.
Yep. There you go.
Affect Normal Fires. Color Spray.
Go for it.
Oh, let me just copy paste this. What am I doing?
That one ain't happening.
Color Spray?
I mean, you're gonna
Nah, Color Spray's right here, buddy.
Nice.
Such a good spell.
Yeah, it is.
That's 3 spells.
Then we have Mount I wanted.
Go for it.
Cool.
Mount. Love it.
And how many are you going to give me? Because I'm going to kind of pick these last, depending. These are all
Let's
level
give
ones.
you, starting out with 8, you are a bard, so you'll have just a few spells, and you'll probably pick them up fairly haphazardly.
Okay.
What else you got?
So, Unseen Servant.
Sure.
Cool.
Wow.
This is going very well.
Man.
Way better than the Malachi School of Magic. You don't get any of your spells.
I guess so. You get ones on your HP rolls, too.
So
I've
this
already
you've
started on
got
that.
5.
Right. Sorry, I've got them in like order. I've got them
Mhm.
like noted out. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing one of them. Remember. We have Message.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good one. Nope.
Okay.
Don't get
None on the
message. Let me mark that as a no. What else do I need? I guess we're just down to some of the other ones. Identify.
Go for it. Oh.
Do you want it?
No, I feel like
take that one if you don't want
Identify is going to be remaining in the domain of wizards, and I kind of feel like Find Familiar should also be like the wizards have their familiar acolytes, and I kind of want to limit that from bards. I want
Can we
that to
talk
be
about
the
Find
weird
Familiar
wizard
later?
pet.
I have an idea.
Sure,
Maybe
sure.
you'll like it offline. I don't want to.
Okay.
Everyone's
Okay.
time.
Sure.
And then so that's fine. Identify. We don't have to get. Hold on. That will change this a little bit. Yeah. Did I already do sleep? Yeah.
No, you didn't do sleep
You
yet.
didn't do sleep yet.
I didn't do sleep.
No.
Oh, I want sleep. Cool.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more.
More.
Ventriloquism.
Go for it.
Yep. That's the last one I want.
These are all first level spells, aren't they?
They are.
Can you
I
cast
only
second
get
level
level-
spells?
I've got 1 second level spell.
Which one was that?
No, I mean I've got 1 slot is what I mean.
Oh,
I just
okay.
got
I
'em.
see what you mean.
Yeah,
So then you should get at least 1 second level spell.
Right, and I'm between rope trick and deep pockets, depending on what y'all think.
Okay. Are there any second level spells that might be useful for, like barding around?
Those are
To
both very
improve.
useful for that. Rope trick's super useful because I've got a 30-foot pole wherever I want it, and deep pockets is super useful because I can have a million things in my pockets all the time.
How does a 30-foot pole help you with being a bard?
I can Neal. You'll get to see at our first tavern.
Oh my god.
He's gonna pole dance.
We've got good ideas here, don't you
It
worry.
said tall in more ways than one. Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
rope
want
dance, because
rope
it's
trick.
not firm, you know, it's not like a taut pole, it'll be a swing, I suppose.
Right. So if you have like 18 decks and tumbling, that wouldn't really be a big deal, right? You could probably climb up that as much as you wanted and
Yeah,
do
yeah,
what
you could
kinda
easily
wanted.
climb, but yeah.
No,
You're
don't
gonna be able
you
to
worry,
do it.
Neal.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Give me a rope trick learning check here.
74, so no.
Nope.
Woo! Oh wait, that's bad.
Yep. So
So if you failed to learn a spell, how does that work? Do you get another chance when you level up, or
next level, right?
You can
Okay,
try to relearn at the next level if you have it written down somewhere in a way that you
Okay.
can get it. But I think with the Bard format, you typically like try to learn things from people and then you don't, and then they go their separate ways and you don't have a copy of it. So you'll have to like come around to another finding of it again. I
Gotcha.
think
You're using
Bards will
spells.
probably like, you know, you'll show up at some wizard's house and you'll trade your services for a week or so to get a chance to copy a spell down. And that's probably how
okay.
you've learned them.
Yeah.
Or information
some-
trading wizard. Hey, I saw this over there. I know where
Right.
the thing is. If you let me see a spell, I'll tell you exactly where, kind of thing. After
Right,
this,
right.
getting spells from me is going to be a huge bitch.
Yeah, and it'll be like
Right.
more taught because you don't have the read magic, so you won't be able to pick up a wizard spellbook necessarily and learn from it. It'll have to be sort of gifted almost.
Right.
It'll be we'll have some fun interplay with it.
Okay, that's
Interesting,
fine.
cool.
So then deep pockets, 1 roll, and then that's
Yeah, deep
So 26.
pockets, lovely.
it's not the one we
Now-
wanted, but that's okay.
There's one question about deep pockets that I've got for you, and that requires it the. Hold on, where the fuck?
The
Deep
needle, the golden needle.
pockets. No, I think the clothing has to be very finely made, right?
I've got a 1600 tunic. If that's not enough, I don't. That's the whole reason I got it.
The finely sewn gown or robe of high quality material, at least 50 GP in value.
Oh no, I'm still less than. Oh, I'm way
Yeah,
less.
so maybe do you want that like as a potential for the day that you get the finely sewn garment, or do you want to have that skipped? That can be like an instant reward once you get cash. You know, is that you will then have infinite pockets.
Yes. Can I just do it for what is it? Display self instead?
Sure.
Oh, I screwed up on my level 1s. That's all right. I know what I did wrong. Whoops.
Let's play self instead.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can just keep that roll. It'll be fine. Lovely. So those are your spells. Not Vaughn. Valero.
Valeria.
God damn it. This is going to be all over
Valeria.
again.
Yeah.
Valerio, you have no spells. You will get them at level
Right.
9.
Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah.
If I
Perfect.
ever get there. Which
Right.
Hopefully
You'll totally get there. It's fine. Yeah.
I won't.
All right. The rest of the party. You've made these friends, but it was late. And after a while of this, people started calling from the other common room for, "Shut up! We're trying to sleep!" And you guys can bed down. The morning comes, and the two of you have a duty. Don't you? You've got somewhere to be.
Yep.
Yep.
Where are you going?
Places.
I'm going to the castle, Koibu. I want to
Yeah,
see the king.
All
And the
right. Okay. That'll do then. You head to the castle, and presenting your letter, you can speak to the gatekeeper here, a man named here? It's a half elf named Kel Ivan Basket. He doesn't wear any armor, which is unusual for a gatekeeper. Normally they're knights of some sort, and he does have the Kel honorific for knight, but he wears no weapons and has no armor, and doesn't look particularly strong, and just kind of hangs out near the gate to check people in and out. When you present your letter to him, he will immediately bring you to a waiting room and get you an audience with the wizard here.
I whispered to Jeb. Now, I don't think we're ever going to talk to the king and be interesting, but if we did, what do you think about me mentioning latrine? Try and see if we can move him to Meadstead or something.
We could do that. If we don't talk with the king, we could just talk with the baron up in Confluence.
Yeah, that could be true. All right, we'll figure that out then.
Because, yeah, if we don't speak with the king.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Excellent. All right, party.
I wait to speak.
A little bit of time passes, and then the wizard enters. She is maybe 68 years old. She's 5'7", 140 pounds, right-handed. She comes in wearing this deep blue robe, leaning on a gnarled oaken staff. Her sandals sort of scuff the ground as she walks. She's, she looks her age. When she walks on the staff, she leans on it. When she's taking the step where she's moving the staff, there's like a bit of a limp in her step. She's seen a lot, and she's quite old. She comes into the room, flanked by a couple of guards. You guys, of course, in the castle have to walk around unarmed and unarmored.
Well, I have to show her my staff, right? So maybe a guard's with us holding it or something?
Sure, yeah, the guard's holding the weapon that you need. And then she says, I welcome to High Castle.
Thank you, milady.
Nonsense. You called me Archmage.
Oh, sorry, I've never dealt with someone of your caliber before, Archmage. I apologize.
It's not a problem. Not a problem at all.
Archmage, I bring you some items I think that you could find interesting, and we were wondering if you could check them out for us.
Yes.
I hand her the note if she doesn't already have it.
No, yeah, I think you presented it to the gatekeeper who brought it to her.
Who got it then? Okay.
A spear made of bone.
A spear made of bone.
A cloak. And a potion.
And a ring.
And a ring. Splendid.
All from a necromancer. I'm sure you've dealt
Vile
with them.
creatures. Vile. I've heard about the creature in Meadstead. I'm glad you've taken care of it. If no one else did, it would have been up to me. And while my fireballs are still quite potent, it's a little hard to lift my head to see the zombies, you know?
Yes.
Slow going.
Something below your immense level. Glad that we could take care of that for you and keep you here where you matter most.
I hear you lost some friends in that battle.
I lost, yes, 2 friends.
That's a shame. What about that one? Why does he not speak?
He just doesn't know the language. He's just a follower of Tempos.
Tell him to trust me. And she starts hobbling over to Jebediah.
I speak to him.
I think I pick up enough of the language that, like, I've been learning it from him for one of my non-weapon proficiencies. Yeah.
Right.
I tell him trust me all the time. So.
Yeah. I'm just looking.
She comes over and rests a hand on your forehead and speaks some words. And if you volunteer to fail this saving throw,
Yeah.
then you can
So-
now understand what is being spoken between the three of you and participate in the conversation.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my.
Welcome, young man. I am Archmage May. My
Well-
job to see to the arcane duties and nature of High Castle. Forgive my slowed speech. I like to make sure I have the right words.
It's mighty fine,
Anywho.
Archmage May.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, words
Anyway.
are never something you should give away quickly.
Precisely. Now, this spear of bone and this cloak. Let me see them. Show them to me.
Oh,
Guessing the guard.
Guard
Brings them
will
over?
step forward and lay them in front of her and she's like, "Oh, you have them. I see, yes. Lovely.
They wouldn't let us hold on to the weapon.
Nor should they. Can't trust strangers with magical items. In fact, you shouldn't have even brought it into the keep. This could be fire trapped. Could kill someone. The guard mutters something and steps back after the reprimand.
Truly, senseless.
Hard to find good work these days. Unusual weapon, bone spear. Like the spine of some humanoid creature. I seem to recall a legend about this. I'll have to look into it. And she goes over to the cloak and turns it over, buries her face in it, takes a deep smell of it, finds a corner, holds it up to a light, and then like nods to the guard back to the items, and then picks up the ring. The guard takes the items in his arms, turns it over a few times, leaves it on the table, steps back and says, "Now, going to cast a spell. Do nothing." And she chants the words to a spell, and then muses as she looks at the guard with sort of a concentrated look on her face and looks at the ring, and then just hands you the ring and says, "This is non-magical."
Oh, sorry about that.
Yes.
Put it on.
Those two, though, and that potion. Yes, all magical.
You have the faintest idea of what the spear, and I slow my speech, and the cloak do?
The spear sounds familiar. I'll have to consult my books. The cloak could be anything, so I'll need to consult my books for that. Now, you have done a great service on behalf of the kingdom, and I would like to offer you these typically expensive and time-consuming services as a reward for your deeds. I think it is only proper to enable the people to stand on their own rather than asking for government support. If people have to come to the government to solve their problems, we'll soon develop a nanny state, which is no good.
No
So
good.
I think good works should be rewarded. I hope that this gift will be used to further help society and your people.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Archmage. Absolutely.
Good.
Who do
what do
I? Oh, go ahead.
Yes? Who
Go
do
ahead,
you want?
Archmage. Who would I speak to for a quick parlay, maybe with the king? Unless he's already been informed of what's happened in Meadstead. I don't.
Why do you feel the need to address His Highness yourself? That seems far above your pay grade.
Correct. Maybe it is. I've never dealt with a king before. I'm sorry for.
Well, it's probably all the more reason not to try. But tell
That's
me,
smart.
why do you wish to speak to him yourself?
Just to get across exactly what happened in Meadstead and make sure the story is told right as the person who was there, rather than having someone secondhand tell it and giving him false information.
She picks up the letter again and reads through it and goes, "The necromancer's dead, as are all the people, right?
Correct.
And you lost 2 friends in the process?
Yep.
Are there any other salient details?"
They're still dead walking.
Oh, that's good. She goes over to a table, slowly puts the paper down, pulls out a little vessel of ink and a quill, and it's really time consuming for her to like set up a small writing station, smooth out the paper, sand it down with a little bit of sand, and then like add some notes to the side in her own hand. Takes like 10 minutes to do because it's such a pain in the ass without like a quick ballpoint pen. And then after all that, she packs it carefully away and goes, good, noted now, lovely.
And this probably doesn't mean anything, but thought I'd add along. One of the people who died was from a small town in... We're from Mystria, out of character, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It's from a small town in Mystria. Actually, both of them were called Latrine.
Mystria!
Correct. And I just wanted to let you or someone let maybe the king know that those two put their lives down to handle Meadstead. And
why would a Mystrian seek to help an Eridonian?
I would look to Ebner.
These two people didn't really think of themselves as Mystrian or Eridonians. They thought of themselves more as godly men who were just wanting to get to save as many people as they can.
That's quite an honorable statement.
But back in Mystery, you see, it's not too good over there. And I hate to ask of you or the king, but man's dying wish was if we could maybe somehow move his people of Latrine, those two, to either Meadstead or to Kneecap.
You're from a town called Latrine?
Apt for a shitty nation, isn't it?
Oh, perhaps it means something different in Mystrian. But in Eridonian, the connotations of that word are terrible.
Trust me, it means the same thing in Mystrian that it does for here.
My,
it's a shithole.
But I can tell you for a fact that the people of Latrine are not a shithole. They just are in a shithole of a situation. So his last request, and I don't know if it's right to ask the king, but his last request to me to ask, but if we could move the people of Latrine somehow to Kneecap or to Meadstead.
I shall take your words to His Highness and see what I can do on your behalf. It'll take me some days to sort out the nature of these. Where can I send a message for you to collect your goods and receive your judgment?
Currently, we are in... I'm embarrassed to say this, but the Dog Pound Tavern, or
The dog pile.
the Dog Pile.
Ah, yes, that flea bag of a place. Well, I will send for you when it is time, but it'll take a few days to inspect probably the cloak. The spear is unusual enough that I'll either know or not know within one business day.
Thank you, Archmage.
Thank you very much. You are
And I
most
appreciate
kind.
you passing along the message.
Well, as I said, we must empower the people to protect themselves rather than relying upon the state to protect them.
That's what
That
we're
is
trying to do.
Yes, good.
We'll
The
be out of your
former
hair.
people of Meadstead were too weak to defend themselves, and we see
And they're
what
dead.
happened there. Yes,
Correct.
wonderful.
We'll start to leave.
Have a good day, children.
Yes, you too, Archmage.
Babbles after you.
Archmage, one question. The spell you cast on me, how long will that last?
Oh, it only will work for me speaking to you. It'll be gone when anyone else... Guard! Speak to this man! And the guard goes, excuse me? And you have no idea what he's saying.
Remember, Neal, I got level 4, got a non-weapon proficiency.
Okay.
I spend it on language.
All right,
And
so
I
I
figure,
guess...
like, it probably let's be real here. It's been like, what, 2 or 3 months?
Yeah, you've probably got words
So
like
I'll probably
excuse me
get
and
it in a
pardon
couple
me.
levels,
Yeah,
but I can, like, I could probably understand it better than I can speak it.
sure. it'll come out as "excuse me," and you'll recognize the word, but it won't be quite, internalized. It'll still be like translating from one language to another in your head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it's quite clear that it's just working while she between you and her. And then she dismisses you guys, and you can head back to the dog pile and wait there for a few days.
Perfect.
When you return to the dog pile, you will find that it has been mostly cleared out. The people that were staying there last night have moved on. The people who will be arriving to spend the night here tonight have not yet arrived, because this is, sort of a place of high turnover. The only folks that you recognize from the previous night are the halfling and the fighter. Warrior.
Well, go drink with them, I guess.
Right. As you arrive, what are the halfling and fighter doing?
Well, I'm sorry. What was your name again, Tom? I got to get the new one down.
Valerio.
Valerio. Well, Valerio, I know that we're staying here because it's cheap, but I think I could do a performance in one of these taverns around here and maybe get us in a nicer place tonight. But I won't be around, so is that going to be okay with you? I mean, I think I could do it. I need to go talk to some other tavern owners pretty quick, though. I don't know if I'd make too much money in this one.
It would be fine, Chives. I'm sure you will do great.
Well, I'm sure it's a good time. I just, it's been traveling. I know we lost all of our gold in that last thing, but we don't have to talk about that now. We can talk about that later. Oh, how's it going? You're Abner, right? You were here last night?
Yep. You two are here again.
Well, for only so long, my friend. I'm just here for stories. And this tavern's kind of empty, so I was thinking about another one. Unless you got one to tell me.
Oh boy, do I got a story for you.
Oh, do you? Chives will peek up and start looking at him.
I will tell the story of Ebner and the three Mistrians and how we'll just tell our stories in its entirety, in the order that it happened. Basically, think like now, like if you're hearing this story, basically go back to all the Desperate Measures campaigns from earlier on, and you just like in its entirety, you should watch it again. And
From
that's the
Ebner's
story.
point of view.
From Ebner's
Point of view. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the story that we'll tell. And then I'll let you guys know about latrine and stuff. And
Yeah. I'm trying to think of all the
Callum,
deceitful shit you
Vaughn.
said that's not the truth.
I said a lot of truth.
You said a lot of lies, too.
And
So over the course of you,
Okay. As he kind of tells me about it, I'll go, all right, yeah, and Jeb, this is about right to you, and I'll try to get like a judge and a feel for how true the story is. I've been lied to as a bard before. This isn't the first time someone's told
He
me their
doesn't.
story.
he doesn't speak the language. Unless, wait, which language are you speaking?
I just have Eridonian, Dracissian, and Halfling.
He doesn't speak halfling, does he?
No, I don't think so. I try Eridonian.
You might get a few words here and there, but it's a long
I'll look at him and
story,
go, true?
I'll translate.
I think.
Chops will realize this is a worthless endeavor pretty quickly and just listen to Ebner's story, believe it in its entirety. He'll write it down. As we kind of get towards the end, I'll go, so there's still a town north of here with a whole bunch of zombies that hasn't been looked over?
Not a whole bunch, but some.
Well, I mean, this
Maybe
is a
after
story.
my audience with the king. How many? It's been in 2-3 days. Maybe if you want, I could take you two, go up to Meadstead, clear out the rest of the zombies, and maybe find some prove my story to be real, and maybe find that necromancer's hidey hole where he keeps all his money.
Well, for a paladin's redemption, killing undead's pretty good, I think. What do you think, my friend? Valerio,
Well-
you think this is in your book these days?
over the course of Ebner telling the story, at the very beginning, Valerio couldn't be more disinterested, but like towards the middle and then towards like the end, he's getting very, very like, oh wow. And you're asking, so I guess at this point I go, well, I have not had much reason for hope lately. If you are asking me to adventure with your party, is that what you're asking me?
You want to come kill some undead, boy? You might as well come with us. But
Well, if you are giving me a purpose to do something, then I suppose.
It'll get you out of the tavern. It'll be good for you. go back on the road again, doing things. It's better than just sitting in here.
Suppose you are right, Chives. If I can help you in whatever way I can, then I will.
All right, 2 to 3 days, whenever, I talk to the king, and I'll poke Jeb. Whenever we talk to the king, is that then we'll head out to Meadstead. That's the goal.
That's
The
good.
king.
That sounds good to me. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah,
slip on out and check on some other taverns around here. If y'all, I'll be back here later this evening. before
I'll
it's
speak
too late.
slow to
Good luck to you, Chives.
I'll
luck.
speak slow to Jeb, and I'll say, yes, the king. I'll say it in Eridonian and try to get that across to him.
The king.
Yes, correct.
I kind of understand that.
I think that we just wait. I might take another 3rd level spell here, but I want to do Speak with Dead. Is that
wanna do
possible
Speak with
away
Dead?
from the corpse? Yeah.
No, you have to touch the corpse to be able to speak with it.
Oh,
We'll do that when we get back then. All right.
Interesting. I didn't know that was possible. Cool.
All right, Chives goes and looks for a middle tier tavern. A busy middle tier tavern.
A busy middle tier tavern. You can find. Would you like to go to tavern? The King's
place of entertainment.
Amber. Right. The King's Amber, Jexel's Vineyard, or Captain's Cove.
We're gonna go Jexel's Vineyard. We're feeling lucky.
Oh yeah. All right. You get to Jexel's Vineyard. It is a fairly nice looking middle of the road establishment. There's symbols of Jexel, the god of luck and wine, everywhere. There's grapes carved into the doorway. So it kind of looks like you're passing through a grapevine, and they're a little painted all over the place. And the ceiling is decorated with grape leaf engravings as well. They serve wine here and nothing else. And it is a favorite place of people who like to maybe gamble a little bit, people who like to get a little bit too sloshed.
Perfect.
There's the weekly Chardonnay Club that meets here daily. Yes, that is their name is the Weekly Club, but they have so many members that they have to hold 7 sessions, so each person can come once a week. But then some people try and show up a little bit more often, so the Weekly Club is really more of a daily club.
Okay, so I'll kind of go in there, kind of look around at the patrons, see that it's mostly full, right? There's people in here, people are drinking, there's gambling going on. I hear coins on the tables, stuff's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll head over to, I assume, the bartender. I'll go, greetings, friend.
The bartender looks down at the short halfling with the instruments across his back, and she says, "Well, you looking to play here? Because Jexel's Vineyard is always looking for good players."
I am. I was actually coming to see if we could work something out. I was hoping to do something more this evening. It's where I feel the money's always at, as you know. But I was hoping to maybe woo you in this afternoon.
What, me this afternoon?
Woo.
I'm sorry. I am married, young man.
I am sorry. It's hard to see hands down here, right? It's short. I'll pop up on a chair and go, oh, I see the ring now. I'm sorry. Well, here's what I was after, my friend. I can do a little bit of singing, a little bit of dancing, a little bit of playing today. And I want to put on a show this evening, but I need your help for the show.
Mm-hmm.
I'll even make this easier on you. I'll play for free right now and give you something for free. But later, you have to charge at the door for my services.
How much are you going to charge?
Well, that's the thing. This is your tavern. You know your patrons better than I wouldn't presume to know which would be a fair price.
I wouldn't
This
want to
will
lock
be a
out any
fairly
business.
Good show, though.
Okay.
And he'll slowly pull out his whistle, and he'll start playing a little bit, and he'll cast Unseen Servant.
Okay. You create a unseen servant.
And he'll slowly pick up a drink, and as he plays, he'll have the drink dance in front of him over the table.
She smiles at the show and goes, well, let's see how you do here. And if you do well today with this crowd, then tonight we can put a cover on it. We'll call it
Sounds good to me. And I'll do a singing, dancing little performance show for maybe an hour and a half.
Okay.
Not for long enough to matter, but not enough for the whole day.
Sure. Okay. You'll easily be able to get your food and beverage covered and make a little cash on the side.
Okay.
The rest of the party has a few days of downtime here. What are we going to do?
I'm going to start
during this
making
downtime?
continual light stones.
Oh, I wanted to do this.
Here
Just
we go.
Pocketing lots and lots of continual light stones.
I would like to put one on my ring.
How do
then,
you put it on your ring?
Can't I just?
Oh,
make
you
the
mean
whole-
so you want to enchant the ring to be a ring of continual light?
Correct.
Okay, so this means it will be bright as daylight for 60 feet around you whenever you wear at all times.
I love
It's like
that.
you go to
Neal.
bed and it's daylight. You
I
walk
can
through the
pocket
city
it, right?
streets, it's night.
I can pocket it, correct?
It's bright as daylight. It'll shine through your pockets.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I like that.
I thought
You can
that-
cover it up eventually, though, right? There's a
If
way
you can
to
get
take the
yeah,
light.
if you can get like a truly opaque thing and hold it in, then yeah. So like if you get in a leather bag and close the top really well, then it won't shine through. Leather won't.
Okay, I would
let
like
light
to
through.
I'd like to cast continual light on my ring, and then I want to get like a shitty, like small burlap sack. Can I cast continual darkness on that? And then if I put the ring inside the continual darkness burlap sack, will it be just
I don't. Is there a continual darkness spell?
the reverse spell? Continual darkness causes complete absence of light, similar to the darkness spell, but of greater duration and area. It's continual light, the
Oh my
reverse,
god!
but yeah.
Yeah, continually absence. So if you cast continual darkness on your bag, then wherever the bag is, there's going to be a 60-foot
60
radius
foot?
of darkness. Yeah.
Okay, so if I have a nice leather bag, and let's say I cast continual darkness on the ring, actually, and then I put the
You don't
ring
even
on.
need a nice leather bag.
Oh,
You
just
need
any
a small
leather.
bag.
And then I pull-
It says if the spell's cast on a small object that is then placed in a light-proof
And I-
covering,
Yeah,
the spell's effects are blocked until the covering is removed.
and I pull that out, then I'm 60 feet around me is just pure darkness. Correct?
I do believe so.
Interesting. That could be like our. Okay, we're fucked. We pull it
I
out
mean,
and then
you'll
we
be-
run 60 feet. Well, yeah,
You'll all be equally fucked because no one will know where they're going, right? You'll
correct. But like, if I pull that out, I would assume like, okay, we're completely fucked. We just need to run. That'll give us some like, okay, they don't know that it's only 60 feet of darkness. They might think that they're just blind, but we're all blind, so we just book it. I mean, I think that could be pretty cool.
Sure, yeah. I would love to see you guys running around in the literal dark.
Well, if you just pick a spot, okay. So if I just pick a spot, right? I'm completely blinded. I just pick a spot and then I start
Direction.
running. Eventually, I'm gonna hit light. Correct?
Yeah, totally. But also, like,
You're gonna run into so many people in there.
go
Neal's
outside to a park, close your eyes, and then just run it for 60 feet. It'll be, it's a trip to try and run in the
I'm
dark.
not saying this is like the best plan. I'm just
Sure,
saying
sure,
that
sure,
it's
sure.
a
These things are
In an
viable. I just
emergency,
want
it
you
could
to.
probably.
yes.
It will
correct.
probably be very useful in emergency. I just want to temper your expectations
Yep.
to realize that running
There
or
are
traveling.
some shit that can go wrong. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. As long as we're all on the same page, then awesome.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get a bag,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna get my continual darkness, and I'm gonna put it on a pebble or
Mm-hmm.
something, and I'm gonna put that pebble in the bag, and I'm gonna close the bag. I'm gonna put that bag on my side, on my left side, and I'm gonna get another bag, relatively cheap bag, put it one on my right side with a pebble, with a continual light.
Uh huh.
So if I want to see, I'll open my right pebble and pull it out. Or I'll just put it on the ring, actually, so I can wear it. It's easier. On the ring in my right bag, and if shit's real fucked, I will just dump the left bag and the pebble will fall out.
Okay. So the ring goes in on your hand.
The ring is in my right pocket. If I want
Your
to
right
see, I put it on.
Put it on.
Correct.
Okay.
The left bag is filled with, we'll call it a pebble. And
Dark stone.
if issue happens, I pull the bag, and the pebble drops on the ground.
Right.
And so now what happens? So say I'm in complete darkness now, and I can even test this in my hotel room somewhere or somewhere out in the forest. I'll go out and test it. I take the pebble and I drop it on the ground, and now I can't see anything, but I know where my bag is on my right side. So I put my hand in my bag and I put the ring on and I pull it out. Now what happens?
You will have the continual light and the continual dark will cancel each other, and it will just be neither effect.
So I put my ring away in my bag. Darkness
And
is
then
back.
it's darkness back. Yes.
Okay, so I pull the ring out, grab the pebble, put it in my left bat. Yep, and then so I pull out the ring. I'm wearing it again. Everything's canceled. I grab the pebble. I put the pebble away, and
it's
now
light.
and then I put the ring away. Now
And then it's normal. Right.
very useful.
Okay, very useful. And I cannot wait for the comedic effects of you like accidentally stumbling and your light bag, just your darkness bag opens
Yeah,
ever
I'm
so
excited.
slightly Like the
I'm
tie is
excited.
just sort of loosened, and all of a sudden the whole street is plunged into darkness, and
I would
people
like
are
to
yelling
go
at the
and,
careless wizards and clerics, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Is it possible to go to like a, I don't know, like a leather worker or whatever and get like a specialty made? Do zippers exist now or no?
Zippers do not exist.
Do
You just get a bag and you
button,
tie the bottom.
do
Those
button
are-
bags exist?
Yeah, but that's not going to be tight enough. You're going to want
Like a
you're going
tie
to want
thing?
a bag that you close over and then tie around the closed bit, so that there's no
Yeah.
like little yeah.
Yep.
You make it look
Okay,
like
I'm gonna-
candy, basically.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then I don't know the exact knot name, but there's a knot. It's like it's literally like a shoelace. Like you can just pull one thing and it'll come undone.
Yeah.
That is the knot that I'm gonna have, but it's only when you pull it. Obviously, if I fall, shit can happen.
Right,
But
right.
that is the goal. Is like the bag is actually upside down, so if I need to, I grab the string and I pull it, and then the light falls out. Does that make sense?
Okay, so the bag is upside down and attached to you by a different thing, and then the strings that hold the bag are attached differently. So there,
Correct.
you've got two sets of attachments, one
Yep.
to yourself and one to close the bag, and then you just like pull this string and the bag opens, and in theory the rock falls out,
Correct.
which probably
Creating
will happen.
darkness.
Yeah, and then everything will be in dark, and the rock will be on the ground.
Yep.
Excellent.
Darkness
Okay,
grenade.
That's the theory.
it is so.
Okay.
Excellent.
Just add that to the
Um,
list of things that can go wrong when you roll a 1.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. That's what you're doing for these few days of downtime. What about Jebediah? What are you doing
Oh.
during this downtime?
I only had one day of this. I had some other things I wanted to do.
5.5.
Oh yeah, we'll get around to everyone.
Okay, cool.
What are you doing, Jebediah?
Figuring out that my bag is calculated as weighing more than it actually does.
Your bag calculations are off?
Yeah, I
You
just
should-
did it with just the calculator on my computer, and it says
I've had
it's
it
10
break on
pounds
me
lighter
before.
than it is.
I've gone through and had to like redo the numbers, and it's fixed
Yeah,
it
so
after you do it.
for some reason, if you remove a row without first modifying it, it doesn't change the thing. So all you got to do is change one number and it fixes itself. So it should be fixed now.
Okay,
Yeah. If
excellent.
there's ever a
Perfect.
miscalculation, just change any figure and it'll redo itself. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, that's much better. That makes sense then. That is 10 because that's how much the kobold shit ass weighed.
Perfect.
Anyway, let's see. This few days.
Yeah.
Hanging around. At some point, I'm going to bother Ebner. We've got that amulet we found a while ago. It's like gold and silver, and it's got a quartz crystal in it. It's like, hey, let's go sell this.
Yeah, we'll go sell that to a nobleman or something. A noblewoman, or
Or a jeweler.
we'll go to the finer district. I'm sure that some fine people live there and
Yes.
start.
High Castle is one of the few big cities here. It is perched on the cliff overlooking the Grand Canal of Arcadia. Let's bring us to a little view of it over here. It sits many, many hundreds of feet up above this cliff. There's a switched back staircase that goes all the way down. It's a long fucking hike to get down there and up there, but that's how we transport goods. There's also a couple of winches that can be lowered with hooks to raise buckets or boxes up the cliff rather than having to carry it manually. And you will find that one of these nicer districts are on top of the cliff, overlooking it from above. That's where the finer people are, with the view of the canals. So you can head down to this district and look for what? A jeweler? A merchant?
Yeah, jeweler.
No. Well, before we go to a jeweler, I'll say, Jeb, maybe we cut the jeweler out and we can just find a nice, pretty lady and ask her if she wants it. Who's wearing some fancy jewelry and adorned, maybe? Or do you think just going to a jeweler would be best?
Hey, lady,
I mean-
you want an amulet?
Yeah, well, it might happen, okay?
I mean, I don't know. Do rich people just buy things like that?
Oh, I don't really know, but I think that they do.
You think that they do? Well, you know what? You seem to know, so I'll hand him the amulet.
Come with me. I'm gonna show you a magic trick too.
Okay. You've shown me a lot of magic tricks, but
All right.
If you say so.
Is there a stool around Neal or something I can get perched on?
A stool?
A rock that I can jump on?
Probably not in the middle of a fancy town like High Castle.
Is there a what's it called? A water fountain? Not a water fountain, but like a.
Oh yeah, there'll be a fountain in the middle of like a square.
I jump on the fountain. I'm sure
Okay.
that there's like a thing.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a ledge there. Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Ebner, the cleric. And I am here to show you the power of tempos. Watch. Is anybody watching it?
Yeah, there are a couple of people whose heads have been churned by this weird
I'm
dwarf that
watching.
pops up and starts talking, but there are a lot of people who are proselytizing the good word of this god and that god throughout the city streets. It's not uncommon.
Watch how I make y'all go blind. And I pull the string.
The rock falls to the ground, and immediately there are calls for guards! Guards!
And well, as they go blind for that second, the darkness fucking dissuades them. I yell, and watch is how I make you see again. And I pull out my ring.
You pull out the ring, the darkness cancels. People start looking around, and there are still cards of guards! Someone's fucking... Another student is screwing around! Get him!
I put my pebble away and say, it was all an illusion. It's just, now, since I have your attention, does anyone want to buy this amulet?
One of the shopkeepers walks over to you. He's got big burly arms. He's a weaponsmith who's like, hey, you playing pranks on the people again, huh? Is this another one of those, it's just a prank bro moments? Don't mind if I just cast the entire courtyard into darkness? I'm doing business over there. And if it's dark, someone could swipe my gold. What sort of mischief are you getting me into, huh?
I would
Welcome to
assume it was
Desperate
far
Pranks,
enough
everybody.
away from him, right? Or was it just...
I mean, it's 60-foot radius. It's 120-foot diameter. But even so, like, imagine someone going in town and, like, setting off stink bombs or,
No, for
like,
sure,
little
yeah.
smoke bombs. It's just going to piss people off, It's amusing to the person doing it, but,
It
like...
was very good.
And if you select others.
I wanted to see if anyone wanted to buy this here amulet, and I'll show him.
He glares at you.
Give
Let
you
this be a warning. If I catch you playing tricks anywhere near my market again,
Sorry. Maybe we should go to the jeweler, Jeb.
and you
Keep it
should
on.
probably take off those amulets. Tempos doesn't like it when people adorn himself with their things when they're not true believers. You know?
Tempo? Wait, what does he mean?
He's saying that you're not a real cleric and that you're just some kid playing some pranks and that you shouldn't be adorned with symbols of Tempos.
He's lucky that I didn't pick my spells for the day.
He just gives you a talking to, like a grumpy old man, not understanding that you're just like trying to have some fun and get some attention. And he's like, "You're disrupting society. How dare you just start like throwing around darkness? Don't you know people have got places to be? We don't have time for your childish pranks."
I apologize, sir. And
a
I'm gonna go to
mean
I'm gonna
man.
find a jeweler far
Yeah.
away from here.
Yeah. All right, you can find a jeweler and you can sell your ring. What was it?
The
Jeb?
amulet.
It
So
was an amulet.
it's a small gold and silver amulet with
Excellent. Do you remember where you
with a
got
quart.
this?
yeah, it's in the Crota cave.
Oh yeah, totally. Okay, fantastic. That is actually worth quite a price. This is an item of some value that was given to a nobleman who died at the hands of Lacrota. DMG. Here we go. And it is quite pricey indeed. Unlike the pieces of armor that were ripped to shreds there, this amulet survived, and you can get its value. Where is it? Someone is willing. The first merchant you go to will be willing to sell it for, or will be willing to buy it from you for. Where the hell am I here? Roll me 3d6.
You got it?
Yeah. So, no, it's not 3R. There we go.
8 gold?
No, he will buy it from you for 40 gold, 400 silver.
So 40 gold.
40 gold, yeah, but he'll give it to you in silver because he's a merchant of this sort. He usually talks in silver instead of copper because his wares are nice enough. So he'll be like, that's wonderful. I think I could fetch a handy price for it. I'll give you 400 silver for it.
Wait, that's good for us, right? Because gold.
Yes,
Is shit.
considering that Garrett was going to give us 6 gold.
Garrett's a little bitch.
Yeah, so like when he tells me the price, I'll like emphatically shake my head.
Excellent. And he will then count out well, I guess he'll count it out in gold for you because it's just easier to work with gold. You can argue, and if you want silver, he can give you 400 silver, which would be 8 bags of silver if that's what you prefer.
No, I'm fine with gold.
Okay. So he'll give you 1 bag of 40 gold in exchange for the amulet.
Perfect.
Oh, he knows fine wares. He's probably seen mundane magic items. I asked him, how much do you think don't mind the ring's craftsmanship or anything, but I'll pull out the lightstone, the continual lightstone, and ask him how much he thinks like one of those can sell for. Do people buy them? Are people interested in mundane? Like,
continual lightstone, he says, looking at it. Give you a couple copper for it.
all right, what about something more obscure? And I can't pull it out of the bag, or you might get upset. But if you want to, I could show you. The way I'll do it is this, and I'll pull up my pouch, still closed, place the pouch on the table. I don't think anybody's made these
I don't
before.
like surprises. Last
I'll
time
tell you
someone
what it
asked
is.
me to open a bag, it was a fire trap, and I almost died.
I'll tell you what it is. Inside is a continual darkness stone. So I keep my light stone on, my light ring on, and I open the bag. It doesn't look like anything right now. But if I take this light ring, it is, and put it in this bag, and if I just push my hand in there, will some darkness come, or will it just be
No, it's all or nothing.
Okay. Can I just epilepsy him, like, real quick? Like, in and out, in and out? Yeah. Like, just show him?
Yeah. I mean, you'll epilepsy him and everyone
Yeah.
nearby.
It's fine. I ask him, you ever seen anything like that before?
Of course not. It's very inconvenient.
It's also very convenient when you have another one of these. And I'll pull out one of my continual lightstone pebbles, because it's been 3 days, and I have one of those as well. Would you be interested in buying the duo?
No.
All right. I'll put them both away.
Okay. Excellent.
Those continual darkness stones are... If I was a rogue and I knew a cleric, all I'm going to say is I would get the cleric to cast either Dispel Magic on me or Cure Blindness and go to town, baby. But I'm good. I'm a good character, so that ain't going to happen. But.
There's a lot of fun you can have with it, but it's also very awkward and difficult in regular life to just have
Correct, yeah. A
these
darkness
things.
stone, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic for adventurers, not super useful for shopkeepers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's switch over to our new character, Valerio.
Yeah.
And what are you doing for these couple of days of downtime? You've just met these people. You've tentatively talked about traveling with them. They sort of have an interesting cause, but like, what are you wrapped up in right now? Why are you even here?
Yeah, right now the idea is that I mean, something really bad happened that caused him to sort of have a break with Velmontarius, the god that he previously served, and he's just sort of trying to find a purpose right now. I mean, at this point, he's probably still trying to regain that connection with Velmontarius, but it may just be fruitless. Like, he's pretty ashamed of what happened. He's pretty ashamed that it led him to this sort of really low point. And I think he's just looking for some purpose, some way that he can do some good. And, if it either gets him back to Velmontarius or somewhere else, so some other god, then so
Do
be it.
you know what the deed was where you were supposed to be delivering justice, but then you didn't?
Yeah. So the idea, I think, would be that what happened to him is that he was supposed to sort of, I don't know if paladins do this much, but if he was tasked with sort of this makes this paladin sound like a glorified police officer, though. But I guess the idea was he was supposed to bring someone to answer for their crimes, and this person. So I guess Valerio had I guess there was like maybe whatever town that he was a part of, there was this young kid that he sort of was like a mentor to, and this person that he was supposed to bring to justice sort of murdered that friend of his that was a younger child, and it drove him over the edge. And instead of doing what he needed to do to bring him to justice, which would be to apprehend him or bring him to the proper authorities, he just went off the deep end. But it sounds like that's not really paladin-like business there.
Well,
but
that's why you were dropped by your deity then,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
Like, you don't get to become a fallen paladin by doing good paladin things. You do it by...
Sure. Yeah, so I mean, he was really angry, and he basically slaughtered this guy for his crimes. And so Velmentarius wasn't that thrilled with that, and I think pretty soon he realized that none of his powers of holy good were.
So your lay on
available to him
hands are
anymore.
no longer here. Your
Right. You
detect
can't
evil is
detect
no
evil.
longer here. Your +2 to saves is maybe
Yeah.
not here anymore.
Right, exactly. So at this point, he considers that a moment of weakness. He's not particularly proud of that deed. He knows that's a moment of weakness, and then he let his anger get the best of him. Where Velmentarius, my understanding is that he's a deity that is very much so, in terms of right and right and wrong. You have to do things dispassionately, and you can't really let your emotions get a hold of you. And Velmentarius really wouldn't be too thrilled with that behavior. So that's kind of why the break happened. Yeah.
Oh. So how long ago was that moment for you?
I want to say it's maybe been fairly recently, as in a matter of maybe months, I would say. Months would make sense rather than like years. Yeah, this is fairly recent because he's still pretty down on himself. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
or-
yeah. So it was a couple of months ago, and you're still feeling it pretty heavily.
Yeah, just really no sense of purpose until Ebner came along and sort of tells this tale that sounds like people who are in need, and sounds like a way to go about doing things in a noble way, and a way that maybe he can try to find some sort of redemption.
And are these the first group of people that you have had an option to redeem yourself through, or have you tried this before? Or have you not come across anything before? You know?
I think he just hasn't been looking very... I would say the most thing that would make sense for his behavior right now is that he hasn't been looking too well. And this sort of just fell into his lap, because I think if he was trying to look... I think if he was motivated to look, you could probably find a lot of people that are in need here, in this area of the world. But I think he's just so discouraged that he probably wasn't looking hard enough up until this point, and these people just sort of came along. Chives is a great friend to him, and Chives essentially sort of maybe kicked this off.
Chives has been trying to get him out of the gutters.
Yeah,
We finally did
yeah.
it. This is our first successful out of the gutters, it sounds like.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Is he gone?
You might be gone.
Shit.
Chives, what are you up to?
So Chives has been trying to get him out of the gutter for a while, I think it sounds like, and just trying to pull him up and just kind of get him back out doing things. I mean, he's a paladin. He's got connections to the gods. He just needs to, just because you're at a certain point in your life doesn't mean that's where you always are, Things go good, things go bad. Got to get back up and keep going.
So you've got
Also
like a very pragmatic view about all of this, yeah?
Yeah, for sure. Chives was fairly young for a halfling, even so. I mean, his family had a little tavern somewhere, but that just wasn't for him. He liked the stories, he liked the people. He was traveling all around when he came across, good old... I'm not Vaughn. See, now we're screwed up again. I'm one name back. Where's it at?
Be forever.
Uh,
Valerio?
Valerio. So,
Yeah.
you know, we ran across Valerio in the tavern one day after performing and started talking to him, and it's a crazy story. I mean, paladins have some of the greatest stories of all time. It's,
Mhm.
you know, just this is the best thing for a bard to ever have. Just got to get him going.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
can lawyer you, Koibu, over some shit while we wait. It's going to be an interesting one, though. Go to the top
Okay.
right of the screen. Okay, so continual light says, as I quoted, well, continual darkness says the reverse spell. Continual darkness causes absence of light, similar to the darkness spell, but of greater duration and area. Does that mean?
Oh,
that-
it does say that.
Does that mean
I'm sorry, guys.
you're back? You're good.
You're good.
This internet is crap here. Sorry, guys.
Does that
That's
mean
fine.
that continual darkness is further than the continual light spell? And does that mean if I pull out both of them, does that mean that like there's an area around us that is
No, the two effects definitely just cancel each other throughout the
Okay.
whole area.
the
Yeah.
whole thing? So like even if continual darkness is further, because the only
That is
reason I would
so poorly defined. It's just
Yeah.
greater duration and area
Yep,
with no
nothing.
questioning about how greater the area or duration is. First off, the duration is permanent. So how can it be of
Correct.
greater duration? Okay? Is it
The
super
way that I would-
permanent?
Yeah, the way that I would weirdly lawyer it is it says cancels the darkness so that the otherwise prevailing light condition exists in the overlapping areas of effect. So if darkness is further out, does that mean darkness technically prevails? We'd have like a quote unquote aura of darkness
Oh.
around us?
It does specifically say overlapping. Oh, 'cause
Correct. Which
there's
is
also
weird.
a wizard version of the spell, and so I get these two mixed up because the two are not identical. Hold on. Okay.
Are we on
Yeah.
break, guys?
No.
No, we're not
Oh,
on break.
we're
We're
not.
still live.
Okay.
Or do you think that this is talking about the level 1 spell, darkness, rather than it prevailing over the continual light? It's weirdly worded.
If other than the overlapping, I was
Oh,
totally
okay,
on
no,
board
that
with
totally
the
makes
You
grading.
think
sense.
that's what it is?
Yeah, it's similar to the darkness spell, but of greater area and duration because the darkness spell is probably lesser area and duration
Let's
than the.
See. Oh yeah, AoE is a 20-foot globe for light. Range is 120 yards. So the AoE is bigger. Is that what it's saying then?
I think so.
Okay.
I
Range
think that's how it's
AoE
being
60.
read.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. All right. Good. I
Do I
just
need
want to
to
make
cycle
sure
my
that. I'm not sure.
What's that, Tom?
Sorry, guys. Do I need to cycle my cam?
No.
I do.
Okay.
We'll do it.
Okay, cool.
Because it would be fun as fuck if
I
I could
gotcha.
walk around like and we can see, but there's like a huge like aura of darkness just like coming at people.
Continual light brought into an area of magical darkness or vice versa cancels the darkness so the otherwise light prevailing condition exists in the overlapping areas of effect. A direct casting of continual light spell against a similar or weaker magical darkness spell cancels both. Okay, so if let's say you put the continual darkness stone down on the ground.
Yep.
And you walk away to the very
5
edge of
feet.
the you walk 100 feet away or a mile away. Then you pull out your continual light stone and you walk into it. You will get like an eclipsing of the light
Yeah.
and the darkness canceling, and one
diagram.
area would be light and one area would be dark. And if it's twilight, then like everything to your, if you walk to the point where you're at the very edge of the continual light, the continual darkness, then you'll have like a Venn diagram where it's dark over
Correct.
here, light over here, and then the regular twilight condition in between.
Yeah.
I think that's
Well, I don't know if it's even regular twilight because it says
If it were twilight when you had the spell cast.
if it were twilight. Okay.
Yeah.
Cancels the darkness so the otherwise prevailing light condition exists in overlapping areas. So even if I have both of them out, it'll still be light. It won't even be like canceled. So say I have both of them out at night, it would
It's still
it'd still be light.
The prevailing effect is like the general conditions, like
The prevailing light conditions exist. Oh, okay. I thought it meant
Yeah.
like the prevailing continual light. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense. This is just a very interesting spell.
Cast an object.
If you want to
into the air,
trip, go read all the wizard spells. There's a whole bunch
I'm
of really
sure.
weird shit. There's so much.
And third case, continual light space about 1 foot behind the creature if it's successful with a saving throw. And the spell also blinds a creature if successfully cast on the visual organs. If the spell is cast on a small object that is placed on light for covering, light effects are blocked. Continual light brought into an area of magical darkness cancels the darkness. What about just a regular? Oh god, this is so complicated. love the complications and the weirdnesses.
I love Dewey.
Objects
So
in
much reading and like
darkness.
interpretation too. You like it needs like a lawyering class, like a true law class to read through the 2E book, just to understand what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And over here in section 32, we're going to contradict our previous section 50% and then
Exactly.
reference you to another table,
Oh boy.
which we will then contradict what we said before.
First causes darkness, half the duration. Magical darkness is equal to that of any light or magical light source. A normal light source or magical light source of lesser intensity than full daylight does not function in magical darkness. A darkness spell cast directly against a light spell cancels both, and vice versa. And then a continual light cast against any magical darkness will cancel both. Okay. Alright, so the lights and darknesses are sorted, I think, and they cancel each other in the area, but if they're cast against each other, they cancel each other all the way.
Correct. I take Jeb out to the forest real quick. Jeb, we're going to test something, okay?
Well, what are we testing?
I'm going to see how this works just to make sure that we both can. I want to see if I can see in this darkness. So just give me a minute. And I pull out the darkness thing. So the darkness pebble is on the ground right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think like right before you pull down, like, wait a minute, what darkness? And then it just goes all dark.
There it is. And I cast a Dispel Magic on myself. I think I'll do, instead of Dispel Magic, I'll do a Cure Blindness on myself.
You should play the Jackass theme right now. Sorry.
Wait. So you put the darkness stone on the ground and you cast Cure Blindness on yourself?
Correct, because I think it's supposed to be like Cure Magical Blindness, because it says in the spell does not restore or repair visual or auditory organs damaged by injury or disease. So like, what else would it cure than magical darkness on yourself, or magical blindness on yourself?
So I think what it's saying is if like you have your eyes removed, then you don't, like, your eyes don't heal from this spell.
But if your eyes are fucked, they will heal?
Like, I think if you've got like cataracts or whatever, maybe Cure Blindness will fix it. Or if someone has cast light in your eyes so that you are blind by it, if someone because if you cast continual light on a person's visual organs, then they'll be blind. So then Cure Blindness will get rid of the light effect on you. Or perhaps if you have some sort of other magical blindness from
so
any number
Cure
of
Blindness
things.
did nothing there.
Right. So in the magical darkness, Cure Blindness is useless. Does nothing.
Am I able to come out the next day and try the Dispel Magic on one item, which would be my eyes?
Your eyes aren't magical to begin with.
I guess my question would be the darkness is magical, right?
Yes.
It also can do it in a 30-foot cube. If I do Dispel Magic in the 30-foot cube instead, will that 30-foot cube be normal daylight? Or would it just kill the stone? I don't know why I'm testing this. I'm sorry.
So if your 30-foot cube is not, let's say the stone has a 60-foot radius, right?
Correct.
So if you cast Dispel Magic away from the stone, but still within the aura of darkness, I don't think it does. It either will destroy the entire darkness permanently, or it'll do absolutely nothing.
Okay.
It'll do one of those two, but it won't make a block of light within the darkness, right?
Okay, cool. That's good enough. I can put the stone away and shit. Just
okay.
I'm Ebner, and this is blonde or not.
Yeah.
Just cast the spell on Jeb, and then Jeb goes, ah!
All right, I can't see. I can't see.
I put it away. We're good.
Jeff, open your eyes.
You're good,
I still
Jeb.
can't see.
Okay, let's flip over to Chives. We were going to learn a little bit about who you are, because we've got a slight introduction on your halflingness.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit more about who Chives is, and not the right song.
I said it earlier, Chives' family, like many halflings, they're tavern owners. They had a tavern, different people did different things around it. But, you know, he just was never really big on the serving other people things. He was more interested in hanging out at the tables with the adventurers and hearing the stories and gambling and, you know, a little more hell-raising than most halflings should normally be. And, you know, one day he had some people came through the tavern and they said they were going off to fight some goblins, and he went, that sounds fun. And just, that was the day. Just the day to move on. So since then, he's kind of slowly moved from town to town, performing places, and just trying to hear stories. He's been doing it for, I don't know, probably, he's 26, so halfling. He's probably been doing it since he was like 22. He's been doing this for about 4 years now, just moving around. Came across Vaughn not too long ago, or, oh my God, we made another V name too.
Sorry.
No, I'm never going to get there. Oh, it's going to take another 3 weeks. Valeria, and then he started traveling with him. You know, we're hanging out or trying to get him up and moving. He sees his true story, his true barding calling in this person, but he just needs to just start him. He just doesn't know quite how to do it yet. And these 2 new people coming in are a good way to do it.
So you think your calling is to finish his story, or at least see it to the end, or something?
I think it's to tell stories, but I mean, like, a good bard calling. I mean, it's a paladin. How much better stories can you get, truly? I mean, who else has more legendary stories than a paladin? You can't find one.
Okay.
I mean, and they're rare as all can get out. You can't find them. Most bards go forever looking for one and can't find one. I'm sure not letting this one go.
Precious few paladins in the world. Okay. Do you have any problem with the paladin having sort of... Well, sorry, let me rephrase this. Were you with him when he broke his oath to do justice and instead got vengeance for himself?
I don't know. How long ago did you say, Tom?
A few months ago is when it happened, yeah. I feel like... I'm trying to think. Like, I feel like I must...
vengeful?
Yeah, I feel like I must have done some pretty cool stuff for you to be tagging along to begin with. Unless you really feel like, wow, this guy seems really interesting. He won't tell me.
Yeah,
much
I must
about
have
his story,
beforehand.
then...
So yeah, I would have known him before.
Okay, so you were with him when he went bad or whatever, had his moment of weakness.
Yeah, I think I was around for it. I don't know if I was necessarily next to him when he did his things, but I was
right. But you knew him and you
yeah.
were traveling with him. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like guide you in any particular.
No.
direction.
That's I need that guidance. I don't.
Okay.
We gotta work on
Okay.
stuff.
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. What else do we need to know about Chives here? What does he have any long-term goals other than story gathering, or is that like his true calling in life?
Right now, it's his true calling. I mean, he's pretty young. He's pretty headstrong. He hasn't, he's working on what he's gonna do. He's got another 100 some odd years to figure this out. He's not in a huge rush.
Okay. And what about I almost called you Vaughn.
Valerio.
Valerio, I'm so sorry.
Valerio.
Yeah.
We were in the middle of talking about Valerio when we had some internet issues here. Where were we with you?
I think I was just mentioning. Oh boy, what particular part was I saying? Just basically that. I guess Ebner and Jeb coming along. It was a kind of a coincidence, and it was sort of sparked by Chives being so outward and flamboyant and fun, and kind of is finally getting him out of his funk to actually try to do some good and maybe get back on the right track.
Okay.
Or the wrong track, depending.
Do you feel like Chives has been a good influence on you? Or bad influence? Because you were doing well before he showed up, and it wasn't until after he showed up that you made a mistake.
No. I would say he's. Well, I'm sorry. I don't mean to write that for Chives.
No, go for it. Write it one way or another.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
easy.
Yeah, my intention would be that the actions that I took were part of like a character defect or something like that. Part of being headstrong. Like I guess my character's pretty young too, kind of like 24, 25 about. And so like, he's been doing the paladin. He was probably doing the paladin business for a few years, but like he's still kind of a young, sort of, I guess to use the Star Wars term, like a Padawan, I guess. And then he flew off the deep end in a moment of weakness. I don't think that was Chives's problem.
Right. I mean, you got one character flaw, you might have another. I don't know if you blame him for your mistakes or if
No, I don't think he would go that far. But no. I think he considers Chives to be a good friend through and through. It's just I feel like Valerio really appreciates Chives' company. Sometimes maybe depending on how much he tries to cheer him up, how overzealous he gets in cheering him up, he might get a little bit annoyed. but it's a genuine friendship, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. And
Typical halfling.
you've sort of lost your path and your way, and your god has denied you powers. Do you
Yeah.
feel forsaken by your deity, or do you feel like this is just that this has happened? What is your present relationship with Velmontarius, the god of justice?
I would say I don't necessarily want to leave it to the things that happen in the future, but like at the moment, he's not necessarily too pissed off at Velmontarius himself.
Mm-hmm.
But he's probably still in the process of thinking that he can redeem himself in Velmontarius's eyes, I guess. So he hasn't completely said like F you yet, but I guess it might happen.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so there's still some connection there.
Yeah. I mean, it's more so he feels like Valerio feels like he screwed up more than Velmontarius forsook him or something like that.
Well, that's probably the right attitude for a paladin to have, not blaming
Yeah,
other
yeah.
people for his misdeeds. Lovely. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's part
And-
of the reason. I'm sorry. And
No,
that's
go
part
ahead.
of the reason why he's not wearing any of the regalia, and that's because he's doing that out of sort of shame. Like, I'm not a good representative of this deity,
Right.
so
Right.
I
Shame
don't
and
want to be a
atonement.
false. Yeah. He's still trying to atone, and it's an idea of like I would rather not represent this deity falsely if I can't live up to that. Yeah.
Got it. And last question for you here. Were there any other moments? I think this is where we were talking. Were there any other moments that you tried to redeem yourself, or is these people coming by the first moment where you've got your shit together enough to say, let's make amends?
This is really this is probably like the first moment where it's like, oh, maybe I can actually do this, and yeah.
Okay, so for you, this is more of an opportunity to make amends for yourself than it is to actually help these people, or are you more, let's just say, is the focus of this more these people need my help and I'm going to go help them, or is it like here's an opportunity to make amends for my own thing? And I know there's a little overlap between that.
Yeah, the overlap is kind of hard, I guess, but
Right.
he genuinely wants to do good. Like, he's always operating from a perspective of wanting to do good first. And if that happens to redeem him, then that's great. But he's trying to help people first, and whatever way that he can do that is probably is good. But it's just that what happened before was just him being very, 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 very hot-headed and hot-blooded. So the way that he personally goes about doing that might always be at odds with Velmontarius, so he doesn't know that yet. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back to Chives here. What are you going to do for these few days of downtime? Well, you've got these new friends, but they're not ready to leave town yet while they rest and heal up and wait for word from these nobles. What are you doing, Chives?
So we're starting off in that tavern at Jexel's. We played during the day. Hopefully the person liked my stuff, and we were in a good spot. So during that day while we're going around, I can do a check if you want for it. If you want,
I would love a performance check.
Which one do you want? I think they're all the same, but I've got singing, dancing, musical instruments.
Whichever one is going to be the primary focus of this particular performance. I know they can all blend together, but if it's predominantly dancing with a little music, or predominantly music with a little dancing, or predominantly singing.
I think it's definitely music for sure, and then we'll also have some dancing in there too.
Okay.
Oh, my dancing is poor.
All right, so you make a good impression with your music, and you can make. They're gonna charge a small cover, but like you, most people tend to avoid bars with cover. So, oh god, this is a terrible roll. You actually only end up with 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 extra copper by the end of the day, and the bartender agreed to do this night thing, but afterwards, performance was great, but we lost more customers than we gained by this, so I'll have to ask you to move
understand.
on to the next time.
Well, I don't need to perform anymore, but I've got some table sitting to do, and I'll look for the gamblers still up after my performance. The people up late night gamblers.
Yes, you can definitely find gamblers here.
All right. We'll do some gambling with our late night gambling friends as well.
All right. So,
And that's what we're going to do every night. And then we're going to go up to the big tavern tomorrow, like the uppity up people.
you will do your gambling, you'll do some singing. The The other two of you are selling items and playing with magical darkness and trying to figure out how all that stuff works. And Valerio, what are you doing during your week of downtime, or few days?
I guess.
I'll reach out to him when I'm going somewhere and be like, hey, I'm gonna go perform over here if you want to come sit in the corner or whatever. Like, I'll give him a heads up and give him a spot. I mean, he's a friend, you know. If he must have something else he wants to do.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Chives, but since it has been a long time since we have adventured, I feel like I should maybe get some supplies together.
Okay. Well, sounds good, my friend. Let me know.
Yeah.
And I'll head off to my way.
Yeah. And then what Valerio will do is I think he will stop by a shop and just get himself some, because he basically he's neglected, actually, staying apprised of his supplies and things like that. How much? Because so I think you started me with 20 silver. How much copper is in a silver again?
10.
I'm sorry for not knowing this. 10.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Orders of
okay.
magnitude.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll just go to the store and just get myself a medical kit.
Okay.
If that's possible. If it's
Yeah,
possible
you can
to
get
buy
a medical kit for
Okay.
listed prices. Did you have the price already?
I think it's 200 copper, which would be 20 silver exactly, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll get myself a medical kit because having my skills, I feel like I need a medical kit at the very least.
Excellent. You can get yourself a little med kit to help out with these things.
Yeah.
And why don't we take a break? And when we come back, we will deal with the rewards that you guys have been given, and you can set off on your first adventure together.
Will we get 1 XP as well?
Excellent.
No.
Bitch.
See you guys on the set of a break. Bye-bye.